2 days away from a really pivotal game in the season. It seems like every game has been something pivotal, but USC really needs to go to Lincoln, get this game to keep their playoff hopes alive. Your calls, your thoughts, plus your comments in the comment section coming up next. Yeah, it's seems like we're saying this every week, and we really do mean it, because there's just not a lot of room when you're playing in the Big Ten to get mulligans. And now with 2 losses and two in the wrong side of the ledger, you really have no more wiggle room for error. So Ryan, my question to you is, by the way, welcome. Good to see you again. But my question to you is, do you think it's overstated that this, not just from a season standpoint, but just the temperature check on this fan base, how badly does USC need this win?
Yeah, this feels like an absolute must win. For everything you said, Tim, I think temperature check, obviously coming off a tough loss before the bye to Notre Dame, but more just for proof of concept. Like, they need to be able to prove that they can win a tough road game, because, if you lose this game and then say win the next 2 at home against Northwestern and Iowa, you still haven't really answered any questions, right? You'd be sitting there then at 7-3, and then you're going to Oregon, and it'd still be the same kind of questions of before. Is like, can they win a road game? So this feels like a must win anyway for playoff aspirations and all that, which obviously is still in front of them, but almost more so just like proof that this team is taking that next step of being able to win in a tough environment, in a conference road game. And I know Nebraska's not ranked technically, but I mean, they're a good football team. They're 6-2. Matt Rule's doing a good job. Obviously just got the big extension today, so they have belief in him on the future. So yeah, Tim, it definitely, where would you rank this in terms of in this Lincoln Riley era? Is this the most, I feel like we've said this multiple times now. I think we said this about the Michigan game, but is this now the most important game of the Lincoln Riley era? Or are we just at the point now where the next game is always the most important game in the Lincoln Riley era?
For so many reasons. Yeah. Well, just simply because it's too many narratives, the truth of these narratives, what they could be, but when you keep stacking evidence to support those narratives, it begins harder and harder to spell them. I don't think so, for a lot of reasons. In the past, it used to be like for recruiting. I think with NIL, and I think you've covered this in detail pretty well. I don't think that USC's in like a must-win situation for the recruiting angle of this. I'm talking about winning back this fan base, which is something that USC's really been trying to do, and they did a great job. That Michigan State game, I was there. It was late. It was a late, cold night. It wasn't cold, but it was late, and people showed out, and they were loud and they were rowdy. USC, just for some juice, Ryan, really needs this game in a big way. Fan base needs something to crow about. They got excited, right? We felt it. I felt it, in these shows when people were calling in after the Michigan show, after the Michigan game. That gives them something to get excited about. The fan base wants to get behind this team. Now it's time for this team to give the fan base something to get behind. And I think they let them down, in Illinois. That Illinois team is, turning out to be, that loss is turning out to be really painful, like a really painful loss, because that Illinois team wasn't what they were built up to be, and USC had the chance to win that game, and they let it slip away. The defense let it slip away. In South Bend, the defense just got absolutely gashed on the ground, and that thing got away from them. So this defense has a lot to prove. The offense, Ryan, we can't argue with the offense. The offense is top notch. This is does this sound familiar to you guys? This is a playoff quality offense with a defense that continue to let them down each week.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like a broken record, basically what we kind of talk about every week, it seems like, but certainly that's the unit that needs to improve. Right. And we've seen glimmers of it, and we saw it against Michigan, and then we didn't. So it was like, didn't see it against Illinois, saw it against Michigan, didn't see it against Notre Dame. So what's it going to be like, in this one? And yeah, I think that's really the big storyline here. I think offensively, especially Nebraska, I think statistically they're like the second ranked passing defense, but you look at their schedule, they haven't really played any dominant passing assaults. So I think that's a little skewed. I think USC should be just fine throwing the football on this team. Sierra Wright, obviously former Trojan, having a fantastic season, but after him, it's a pretty significant drop off in the secondary. So if he does shadow Makai Lemon, I mean, USC should be fine with Jacoby Lane and Tanook Hines. And I think Lemon can even still, eat some against him. So the offense, I think, really is going to be fine, even with the injuries in the running game. Obviously, they do want to establish the run better than they were able to 2 weeks ago. But Tim, it comes down to the defense. Like, can they tackle? Can they get stops on third down? And can they cut out the gash plays, the, explosive plays, or what registered as 10+ yard plays? But like, let's take baby steps. Just don't let any 20+ yard plays. Like, I'm okay with every now and then a 12, 13 yard run every now and then. If we can just eliminate all the 20 yarders and plus, that'll be good. So I spoke with, and I know you did too earlier, but we both separately spoke with Nebraska podcasters. And the one I spoke with, like, specifically said, like, their running back, who's a really talented back, and he's really high up there in the Big Ten in breaking tackles, but he's not nearly as explosive as Jeremiah Love. So as long as USC does their job at the point of attack, has hats on the football, and can bring him down, within reason, like, they'll be able to handle this game, because they're not facing the caliber, even though he's very good. Jeremiah Love is a potential first-round pick who's just kind of otherworldly. And obviously, if you're not in the right gap, it doesn't matter what running back you're playing. So if this defense can play smart and play sound, they have the horses to get the job done for sure.
Yeah, Johnson, he's not Jeremiah Love, but I don't think there's anyone really out there like Jeremiah Love, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But he's a load, and you're going to have to talk about, you need that just the tackle, the form tackle you're going to need, just a really, really, well, first off, the defense needs to get these run fits figured out. I mean, the last game, there's too much eye candy, and they were not disciplined. They did not play sound defense. They did not do the responsibilities. They're trying to do too much. And that led to a lot of the problems on the ground against Notre Dame. But the other part of it was, on that kickoff return, on a number of plays, run games, and even in the passing game, Trojans had the ability to tackle a guy for little or no gain, definitely behind the sticks. And more than once, they failed to do that. They started out the season tackling very well. It just seems like that tackling is kind of taking a step back. If they don't do that against Nebraska, Nebraska has receivers and a running back that will make them pay for that. So that the tackling has to be sound. And the defense just has to step up. I'm tired of hearing the narrative, and it's becoming etched in stone now. Like, and the fan base got really excited, with all the additions. I was talking to Gabe earlier today. All the additions they've done on the defensive side of the ball, all the effort, all the money that's been put in behind this defense, from the coaching staff to NIL to the transfer portal, really just even to the way Lincoln Riley has talked for the past 18 months. It's all been about defense. He said that he got embarrassed in that 22 season, and he said that's it. Everything from now on is going to be with defense in mind. And sorry, I did a 23 season. I'm sorry, they did a 23 season, and he said everything is going to be about defense from here on out. And he put his money where his mouth is. I mean, went across town, stole D'Anton Lynn, hot new up and coming defensive coordinator. You bring in a Matt Entz, you lose Matt Entz to Fresno State, and then you replace him with Rob Ryan. You bring in Coach Henderson from the Rams, who has his set of credentials. So the defense has got to start doing it. We have way too much talent on that side of the ball, too good at coaching. Now it needs to show on the field, Ryan.
Yeah, what's weird, what's confusing and hard to nail it down, Tim, is it's like they've at least in terms of tackling, like, they've regressed. Like, that was like one of the biggest improvements last year. I remember talking with everyone of just like, man, this tackling unit is so much better this year versus the year prior. Like, that was the biggest difference noticing with Dan Lynn. Like, obviously schematically there were changes and whatnot, but the tackling was just so much better than it was the year prior. So I don't know if it's just because it's youth. I mean, we've talked a lot. It's a very young defense. Like, yeah, last year's defense had its limitations, but like, all those guys had played tons of football snaps. Like, think about it. The youngest guy on defense last year was Kamari Ramsey. He was probably the best player, and he was the youngest on the defense last year. Him and Devin Tompkins. So this year, I mean, it's just like a lot of youth. So I wonder if that's just the regression in tackling. It's just young guys just still kind of developing and not moving as quickly as we like. But yeah, that's been my big kind of question mark, is just why that has regressed so much, because that was the biggest difference in 24 versus 23, was just an improvement in tackling.
Yeah, Brian brings up a good point here. It's hard to blame the offense because the offense is playing at such a high caliber. Even like, for instance, people were disappointed. There was like serious disappointment. I get it. It's Notre Dame. We want to win. But if I told you guys at the beginning of the season that we're going to play the second half of this game in the rain, we will not have Elijah Paige, our left tackle, for the entire game. We will not have our starting center, Killian O'Connor, for the entire game. I'm going to tell you that Jacoby Lane's shoulder is still not 100%. He's going to drop 2 third downs, 1 for a touchdown.
We're not going to have our top 2 starting running backs.
And then our top 2 running, or down to our 3rd and 4th string running back. And one of them, our 3rd string running back, Brian Jackson, has still getting over turf toe. Did not look 100% himself. He definitely didn't have those game reps. He wasn't game ready. He just get kind of thrust into a game in South Bend like that. So I mean, and then to play as well as he did and keep it to, and then we're leading late into the 3rd quarter. I mean, the offense is doing everything they can. And the offensive line and Coach Hansen have been working miracles, shifting that line around, doing the best they can to make that happen. I'm amazed at how well this offense. I was really excited about this offensive line a couple years ago, and I caught so much crap for it. And I really do believe this line is going to be something special. These guys, some of them aren't going anywhere, and it's just going to get better. The problem we have to figure out, though, Ryan, is again, let's go back to the other side, the defense. So I'm asking you guys this in the chat. I'm also wondering, we got a phone line, 888-997-4539. We're going to take some calls in a minute. Let me know. Let me know what has to be, what more could Riley do for this defense? Ryan, your thoughts. What do you think what is the issue on offense? What is the issue on defense? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's the big question. I think the tackling is a part of it. And obviously that was emphasized this week. I was at practice each day, and coaching staff said that was a big point of emphasis. And, the gap integrity thing. And I talked about this right after the Notre Dame game. It feels more, because immediately everyone's like, okay, that's coaching. Like, it's horrible coaching. Like, how are these guys so not gap sound? And I hear you. Like, I'm not absolving the coaching, but to me, it's guys, it sounds so simple, but it's guys just not trusting the guy next to them and trying to do too much. And what was it? The first or second play when Love went for 68 yards or whatever, when that opens the game like that, you start seeing play. And we see this in the NFL too. Start trying to do too much, play that hero ball, like stay within their job and go outward. And the best teams out there, hence the Bill Belichick catchphrase, do your job, stick to just doing their job and trusting the guys next to them. So I really believe that, yeah, there's other things that need to be fixed on this defense. It's not, this is solely going to do it. But I think if all 11 players get that full belief of their preparation and that the guy next to them is going to do what they've done all week in practice, this can be a good defense. And I'm not just trying to regurgitate what Riley and Lynn have said, but I just think the talent is there. And I do think the coaching is there overall from a schematic standpoint. Guys just have to trust it and trust that they're doing. And I remember even 2 years ago, and this was when Grinch was still here. So, that obviously I'm not absolving him by any means, but I remember Bryson Shaw, I think it was after the Colorado game. I was out in Boulder for that game, and we were talking to him, and he said something similar of like, we're just not trusting each other to do what we've been coached to do. And, there was much other issues with that scheme and everything, but sometimes it does come down to as simple as that. And here's one more comparison I'll give you, Tim. And, people know this, and I don't think it's a secret. I'm from Denver originally, so I'm a Broncos fan. 3 years ago, right when Sean Payton was hired, he hired Vance Joseph as his defensive coordinator. In week 2 or 3, that defense gave up 72 points to the Miami Dolphins. 72 points in the NFL to the Miami Dolphins. Everyone wanted Vance Joseph fired, yada, yada, yada. They stayed the course, stuck it. 6 weeks later, they turned it around, and the defense became one of the top units, and now still is one of the probably top 3 defenses in football. Justin Simmons, who was the safety at the time, sorry, I'm getting long-winded. They asked him, like, what changed? Like, what was the big turnaround with this defense? And he said, literally, we did not change a single thing from a schematic standpoint, from a practice standpoint. We purely trusted each other and decided to stick to our job. Sometimes it is that simple. If these guys just do their job, play in their gaps, and trust the guy next to them to do it, I think we'll see incremental improvement. Maybe it won't be like vast improvement, but we'll see incremental improvement, and they should beat teams like Nebraska, who they're favored over. Sorry, that was a very long-winded answer.
No, but a very accurate description of what's going on. And that place, I mean, I just put this point up while you're talking. It kind of is worrisome because that means that the players aren't buying the system. If they don't trust the guy next to them, they're thinking, and they're playing hero ball, that they're thinking they have to go and make a play. And that's not the case. And I joked around about it, but I mean, I don't know. I wasn't in that locker room, but man, I said on the Monday show, can you imagine what can you imagine what was going on in the locker room when Rob Ryan got a hold of those guys? I almost said Rex Ryan. When Rob Ryan got a hold of those guys in that locker room, the way the linebackers were playing. And after practice, Lynn was asked about the linebacking room, and he basically said, look, they need to, they need communication, leveraging the ball, and playing downhill. And that's what I've been saying the whole. So you're talking about the leveraging, right? Keeping the play in front of you, like you were just saying, trusting your role in the team, but then also getting and hitting that hole and playing downhill, playing with speed, playing with your hair on fire, because young players are going to make mistakes, but you don't want them hesitating in the hole. I'm just seeing too many times where we have linebackers just frozen, like a deer. I'm not kidding, like a deer in headlights, either because of eye candy, the quarterback looking them off, or whatever, just freezing and not playing the system and being where it's supposed to be. And I get it. They're a young group of guys, but I see Jayden Walker. He's getting up. He's getting upfield. He's getting playing downhill. I just think that USC, they look hesitant. It just seems. I mean, that's why when you say this, Gabe, it just maybe. I don't know why, though, because the system, we saw what happened at UCLA that first year. I mean, they were among the country, in defense. And you can't tell me now, they had some good players. They had, as you will hear Jamal say, they had Latu. That guy is all world. I get that. But I mean, it's not like USC doesn't have a bunch of collectively have a bunch of studs that have on this defense. I don't get it. I don't get what the problem on defense is, because everything on paper, from the players to the coaches, show that this team should be lights out on defense. And I would love to hear it from the calls, from the fans, because for myself, I've scratched my head over this, and I don't get it. I really don't. What else is on your mind? Oh, so I talked about the linebackers. We talked about the defense. There was a little bit of talk about the younger players getting out there and playing as well. This would be a game where it's late in the season and you rely on some of the depth on your team because guys are nicked up and banged up. And by name, D. Reddick, Alex Graham were called, and Gus Cordova were all called out by Danton Lynn yesterday after practice. And I would throw in there, is Floyd Boucard going to be back? Because he showed some great stuff. He got injured. He was out. Mm-hmm. Hopefully by now, they said a couple of weeks. So he's probably questionable for this game. We could really use him back. And then the evolution of Stewart. He said Stewart's anticipating, the offensive players. He's anticipating plays a little bit better. He's keying on the offensive players. He's becoming more college savvy. And so as he grows in his mental game, because we know, I mean, the dude's a man-child. He might be almost ready for the pros at some point. And probably needs a little strength. But I mean, he's that good. Ryan, how good could these young guys be for SC down the stretch?
Yeah, I mean, still, I still feel fully confident and excited. And, sometimes we see guys that come in as freshmen and develop and surprise people. And sometimes, it takes a couple years. And, you see a lot of the historically good programs recruit, and then those guys become starters. They're like second at a minimum, but usually their third season, they're not really have to be thrust in as a freshman. Whereas, right now this USC defense is thrusting in a lot of guys that have never started before. And so we're definitely seeing those growing pains, but Jakeem Stewart's going to be, he already is super good. So as long as he stays, healthy and consistent and continue his maturation, he's fantastic. Floyd Boucard, I don't think will play this week. I don't think I'm trying to think yesterday if I saw him even. I don't even think he's in pads yet. So I know they said they would evaluate after the bye week. I think he's still probably a couple, I don't want to say a couple weeks, but still he's not. I would be shocked if he does actually play on Saturday, but that'll be huge getting him back hopefully. And then, they're super excited about, obviously, Alex Graham. We've known since the fall how excited they are about him. And then D Riddick is another guy who's really coming along nicely and continues to develop. And this young secondary is going to be really, really potent as it gets older and grows together. So, we'll see that maturation continue, but I think there's a lot to be excited about. It's just kind of weathering the storm right now and doing the little things right. And, doing your job and getting through there. I'm curious your thoughts, Tim. I've seen a few people, Cam Live, thanks for the question. Why isn't Garrison Madden or Elijah Newby getting a chance since Stevens has been so terrible? I'll let you answer that first, Tim, if you have any thoughts on that, because I've seen that else. I don't know if I saw it on Twitter, but I've actually seen other kind of chatter about that also.
Yeah, well, Stevens is a Mike linebacker. You correct me if I'm wrong personnel wise, but I've always seen Garrison Madden and Elijah Newby more at the will position than inside. That's just me. I'm not saying Stevens is playing terrible. Do you know what I mean? I guess the young label has to come off him because he played games at the end of last year. He's now 7 games into this season. So I do have to remove that. He's young, he's still learning the position, etc. Getting up to college speed because this is his second full year, right, with the team. He's had 2 springs. So I don't know, but both those guys you just named right there are fast. They're fast. Those guys are of the linebacking room. Correct me on this one if I'm wrong. I would think that they're the 2 fastest, correct? Linebackers on this team. They're doing well on special teams, but I really know they're all in. This coaching staff is seeing something from Stevens. I know off ball he's excellent. He's excellent in coverage. But where I think he needs to take that next step is one, just leveraging the play, knowing where to be, and then also just playing downhill, getting upfield and getting into the hole and making those plays. If you have some inside skinny on it, I don't have really any information besides the fact that one, I don't think they're Mikes. I don't know. Are they? That's my first question to you.
Yeah, I think you could theoretically move them around. I think that the easy kind of obvious answer. I think part of it with Newby is that, remember, they moved him to edge in the spring and then moved him back in the fall. So maybe it's still kind of transitioning. I wouldn't think it'd be that crazy of a transition, but you did move an entire room and move down with the D linemen for the entire offseason. So I think that could maybe go into that. I understand the sentiment of why not try it if you're not seeing these linebackers have the success that we thought that they could have potentially, especially with Rob Ryan as the coach. So I think this Nebraska game will be telling. I think that's, we can all sit here and be like, why aren't these guys playing? What's going on? If there's struggle again with gap containment against this Nebraska team, then it's time to, you got to basically try anyone else out and just see if there's any spark or anything with that. Because, you can't keep just doing the same thing and hope it auto corrects. Guys are going to develop differently at different paces, like I'm saying, but to save the season, you're going to have to see if any guys, and maybe, who knows, maybe they're even further behind in practice. We don't see them in practice. So maybe in reality, they're just not, even if people aren't liking what they're seeing from Stevens, maybe they're even a drop off lower. So, that we don't know just because we haven't really seen them. So, and I think honestly, I think that's kind of it. I don't know.
Yeah, Garrison Madden's been around for a while, but Newby's You know, he's a younger linebacker as well. What about Tamir Robinson? I mean, no one's really been talking about him.
Yeah, Newbie, sorry to cut you off. Newbie, Stevens, and Walker, all the same class, all 24. So they're all together.
So, but Tamir Robinson, I thought he's brought in. I thought he would be some quality depth at the Mike linebacker position. I mean, the short answer to that is I don't know. The best answer is that I think that they see the potential in Stevens and they're just trying to get him those reps and get him up to speed. The Mike linebacker position is a heady position. You have to know that defense really well. So there's a lot of things that go into it. I think the two guys you named, though, the one thing that's so attractive, Ryan, is their speed. Those guys are legit. Running backs are not going to get the edge on those guys. I just don't think it's going to happen. I think they can run with guys, and that would be fun to see out there. Yeah, like a lot of these position races, it's hard sometimes. We have the guys we think, but we're not there at practice. I've seen this year. What we see two full practices. We didn't see a spring game, and we've seen the beginning of practice. The first 15-20 minutes, and then when they break in to do team drills, when they do real hitting and real stuff, we don't get to see it. So yeah, it's hard to tell, but.
Yeah, we're speculating as much as all you, basically, outside of little stuff we can take here and there.
So the run, you did say that they were number 2 in the country as far in run metrics, but the good news for USC fans is their pass defense. Their run defense, on the other hand, is 115th in the country. They're giving up 5.1 yards per carry. So that's good news for USC, a team that struggled last week. When you look at their stack adjusted rushing, they were just barely north of 3 yards per carry. And USC was, I think, number 2. I think still is number 2, even after that, in the Big Ten as far as yards per carry. But obviously, a lot of that had to do with having a healthy Waymon Jordan and a healthy Eli Sanders running the ball. But I mean, I really do like Brian Jackson. He shined a little bit last year in garbage time against Notre Dame. I know that they were playing off the ball. They weren't playing, it was the end of the game. They were protecting a lead. But he ran the ball. He runs the ball with authority. He runs downhill. He's athletic for a guy his size, and he has decent speed. So I hope we get him back 100% healthy. And then King Miller, he's just become a folk hero. I mean, all he does is score 60-yard touchdown runs. I want to see him get those tough yards inside the tackles. Can he get us 5-6 yards on first down when the defense knows we're running the ball? One thing I really enjoyed about Waymon Jordan was watching his vision and his patience, letting the block set up. And Lincoln Riley pulls his guards and tackles so much. And they get that second level. You have to let those guys get out there and set up the blocks for you and be ready to hit the hole, and that vision. I haven't quite seen that from King Miller. I see him. He sees daylight. He sees the team. He's one cut and he goes. I've seen that from him, and he does that great. Next step for him is to, again, have that patience, let those blocks set up, and get those tough yards. Get that 3 yards on 3rd and 2. Get that. I'm sure Ryan Jackson will probably be in for this, but on first down, when they're pretty sure that they think that we may be running the ball, get those 4 to 5 yards consistently, so that we're on schedule. That's what I want to see, Ryan. And what do you think? Okay, we can go a step further. So, what do you think about the young freshman running backs? Do you think now they're all pretty much healthy? Do you think we're going to see some of them in this game?
Yeah, well, it's a great point you say anyway about the patience. Wayman and Eli Sanders. I think Eli Sanders had really underrated patience. Everyone just kind of saw him as a burner and a speed guy, but he had really good patience, kind of running, basically going horizontal and then hitting his cut and turning it into a big gain. So I think that is kind of the next step in King Miller's process, and I think it's something he can certainly learn within this offense. In terms of the freshmen, so I mean, Harry Dalton is going to be really good. He was. I mean, this, Tim, he got rave reviews at fall camp, and he's built like a brick. I mean, he is for a freshman. He kind of looks like Waymon Jordan, the way he's built, but just obviously younger. as a freshman. He did have a couple carries in that Notre Dame game. So I think we'll see him slowly get worked in more potentially. He to me is a true 3-down back, can kind of do everything, catch out of the backfield, has enough speed to break it, has the vision, has the size. I was talking to someone in recruiting, and they had the 3 backs with him, Riley Wormley, and they had one more that I'm drawing a blank on. And last minute, like that last one ended up flipping to Tennessee. I think he was from Tennessee or from the East Coast for sure.
I forgot the name too.
I want to say his name it wasn't Harry Dalton, but it was like similar. If anyone in the chat remember, I'm drawing a blank. But anyway, the person I was talking to said not that USC wanted to lose him, but USC basically was like, as long as we don't lose Harry Dalton, like that's the running back in this class that we for sure like see being that like next future great tailback. So he's going to be special. Wormley, honestly, I just don't know a ton about because he got injured his senior year in high school and he's finally now healthy. So he didn't really get to do much in spring, didn't do much in fall. He's just been rehabbing. So he's a completely different back. And what's fun is when you look at Harry Dalton and Riley Wormley, like they literally are built like Wayman Jordan and Eli Sanders. Like USC found their type of how they want to complement each other. And they did that in the portal with those two. They did that with those two thank you, Gabe, Dwayne Morris. And then did that with these 2 recruits. So I think Wormley has some talent, definitely speed, much smaller. He's like 185, 190. So a smaller back where Dalton's like 210. So just different complementary style backs. But I think Dalton's the one we'll definitely see ramp his production up or ramp his usage up as the season goes.
And Cam here's agreeing with you as far as just the way that Danton Lins runs the defense. He's stating that basically the Will and the Mike are interchangeable. I'm not sure exactly what he means there. Does he mean maybe the players can switch positions are interchangeable? I'm not sure if you have any information on that. But solid.
I'm assuming that's what he means.
I want to see Wormley, but he's coming off that knee injury. He's a smaller guy, so when you talk about the 2 and they're playing, Dalton's like 205, 210 range. I think. I don't know. He's north of 205. He's a bigger guy. Then Wormley's a little bit smaller. I think he's like 190. 185, 190 back.
Yeah, I think he was like, and he may have even been 170 when he got here. So yeah, he's definitely much smaller.
Oh, so yeah, and both true freshmen. So 170. So he's maybe lucky to be 180 then. Well, probably like more like 175. So Saturday is going to be a big run heavy game. And I said on Monday's show, I said, here's your barometer. Here's my key to victory is that USC. If USC runs north of 150 and keeps Nebraska under 150, I think it's a USC Trojan lock. I think if USC can run for, and that's not a high, that's not a really tall order. Because I just told you that they are giving up 5.1 yards a carry. They're one of the worst teams in the country, under 15th in the country in yards per carry. So, that'll be a big stat for me. What's like one key you think in this game, just stylistically? What do you think USC has to do, or what do you think they have to stop Nebraska from doing in order to get this victory?
Yeah, well, I agree with you there. I've always said I think USC's benchmark should be 175 rushing yards a game. They're averaging 203 right now, so they're hitting that benchmark. Obviously, didn't hit that against Notre Dame, but overall, so if they can get to 175, that lets them control the game and just takes some of the pressure off Maiava. To me, the biggest thing comes between the USC defensive line and the Nebraska offensive line. Nebraska obviously got, punched in the mouth by Minnesota 2 weeks ago. They did give up quite a bit against Northwestern as defensive line last week. They were, I think, down 2 starters. So it's, every week's a little different. You can't base it off the last week, but that to me is what this game is, how this USC defensive front can really go up against this, subpar, we'll call it, Nebraska offensive line. They're not terrible, but they're certainly not what Notre Dame was. So USC should be able to do a lot more. And if they can control the line of scrimmage on defense, they should be in a good spot in this game, I think.
Okay. And yeah, also agree with you on that. Is this game will be won in the trenches. I think that one more big thing is just they're I was on the show with Connor Hayden. You guys, please go check. If you want to get some information, if you want to get some enemy intel, go over to Corn Craze. Connor Hayden has a great channel over there. Also, go check out the Voice College Football Nebraska. I'm going to join Minnie over there to talk a little bit about USC football. Both of the guys, if you want some information, go check out both of their shows. They have to get to Raiola. They have to. This defensive line has to be disruptive. Other teams have done a very good job of getting to Raiola. Connor was saying basically it's a combination of a number of things. He said, obviously, Raiola's holding the ball, but he's holding the ball because there's no separation. Sound familiar, USC fans? You remember Caleb Williams in 2023? No separation with our receivers. 2024, not a lot of separation. People forget, we talked about that offensive line and how after the offensive line left, it was kind of empty for a couple of years. And now we got the offensive line and we see the offense. All of a sudden, Lincoln Riley knows how to call plays again. I'm being sarcastic. But we also have somebody that can separate. And when you have a receiver like a Jordan Addison, when you have a receiver like a Mekhi Lemon, that really helps, especially on third downs, you guys. Taj Washington did a pretty good job, but Taj is not Mekhi Lemon. Taj is not Jordan Addison. When it comes to that separation, the technical route running, and just the insane speed and athleticism, they don't have that really at Nebraska. They're not getting that separation. And then lastly, like we've seen up until this year at USC, their offensive line is just not holding up the part of the bargain. So I think USC needs to get to Raiola, get to him early, get in his head. And I think that would be a big point of emphasis to win this game. Hey, we got our first caller. Do you want to grab right now, Ryan?
I'm gonna have to jump, but you can.
Oh, okay.
Keep it.
Oh, yeah,
rolling.
I got you.
If that's okay,
I'm
already past my quota, and I'm getting the text from the wife.
Yeah, no, okay, my bad. Yeah, let's keep the household happy. All right, well, I'm gonna stay on for as long as we have phone calls, as long as we have questions. I'm gonna stay on. But
yeah, please, everyone, call in, bombard Tim. If I'm not here, he needs a co-host, so he needs one of you guys to talk to. So call in and hang out. Okay,
well, I need to be on another show before 8:30, but yeah, up until then, you got me if you guys want to call. So I'm here for it. I'll take your abuse. I'll take whatever. All right, Ryan, I'll talk to you soon.
I'm going to jump. Tim, you're the man. Always good seeing you. Great stuff. Trojan family, appreciate you. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe here at the USC LFB channel. We're trying to keep growing this thing. And yeah, Tim, enjoy the rest of your night. Talk to you soon, brother.
All right, fight on. Whoa. Hang on. Give me 1 second. There we go. We'll do that. We'll do this. Although now you can't see the phone line. That's not good. But hey, listen, we got our caller. Ryan, hey, behind the scenes, Ryan, if you could switch that so you could. Oh, no, he's gone. All right. Hi, caller. I know this. You're calling on the VIP line. LV, how you doing, sir?
Hey, what's going on, boys? Right on from the East Coast, man. Hope all is well. Great show as always for both of you guys.
You're stuck with me. Ryan had to get on out.
Hey, Tim, we've been doing this a long time, man. It's no problem, man. But hey, listen, guys. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, we're kind of like where we should be. This is what we kind of expected, right? USC is either going to have 1 or 2 losses around this time, and this was going to be a big game going to Lincoln. We talked about this right before the season, and so this is a night game, cold weather. This is how it should be. It should be a tough game. It should be cold. It can't be easy. And that's the beauty of it. So I love it because now it's time for Lincoln to kind of shut everybody up, go out there, get a big victory, and come back home to LA. I mean, this is what you want. You want to kind of be in a primetime situation. That's why USC is getting the big money from the Big Ten. To be on primetime, NBC 7:30, to show the world what we are. And so this is a good opportunity for him to kind of, I mean, you're not going to shut up all the haters, but something close to it to where, show that he can win a big one on the road. And I think if they win this one, guys, we're right there to make it to the playoffs. We just got to go up to Eugene. And then also, too, Tim, here's a big point, too. After this game, Tim, we don't leave the West Coast for the rest of the year. We're out there. We got 2 games at home, 1 game in Oregon, then UCLA. So we don't leave the West Coast. So this will be a good opportunity to kind of win a big one on the road. And you can kind of get back to being close to home for the rest of the games and pretty much, be able to lock in possibly a playoff spot if you're able to finish the deal. What say you, sir?
I'm trying to figure out why that is so huge. I agree. So, but one thing I disagree with, all we had to do is just go up to Eugene. Is that what you said, LV? We just have to go up to Eugene and play the. All right, I get you. That game, I think all season that game kind of was circled as probably the toughest game on the schedule. Just simply because, like people, again, Gabe and I were talking about this today. People are talking about Notre Dame like they're world beaters, like they're. So if you listen to some of the people out there, they're talking like they're like going to be the favorites to win the national championship. They're a solid team. They're a great team, coached, and they received great coaching. But there were plenty of holes on that team, and the fact that our defense could not take advantage of those holes, the fact that their passing game, I mean, that game CJ Carr just looked terrible in my opinion. And the fact that we could not take advantage of a redshirt freshman quarterback was a bit alarming, And so I think USC has a lot to prove over the next couple of games, and they can do it. Play Iowa at home is going to be no joke. They're playing good football. And just going up to Eugene, even though we have to play, they're playing great football. And I know Indiana got to them, but Indiana is probably the best team in the country. Sorry, Buckeyes, but it probably is Indiana. And USC's got a lot, has to shore up a lot on defense. I think our offense could play with anybody in the country. I really do, especially when we get Elijah Paige back and Killian O'Connor back, and you can let Tobias Raymond go back to guard. I think that on offense, even going down as far as we are into our depth chart on the running back room, I think we're doing good. Defensively.
Hey Tim, I saw some
defensively.
I saw some reports out there.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
Tim. I saw some reports out there. I remember we talking about. I thought it seemed like Elijah Paige was going to be back this week. I mean, I saw a couple of clips of him out there in practice, and he looked like he's pretty much ready to go to where you can kind of get back that strong side or left side of the line. I mean, I know Killian O'Connor. I don't think he's going to be back. I think he might have another week or so for. I know he's back at practice, but they said the reports that were out was that Paige looked like he was pretty much a go this week. I mean,
okay.
Have you heard anything differently or?
So all I have is the video of the way he was moving on Twitter. I don't know if it was Connor or by the way, I really hope that Chris Trevino, there's some way, man, obviously I know nothing about the situation, but Chris Trevino, you guys figured out he covers USC for 247. He was laid off, he announced, and I just hope that the guys over there, Ryan Abraham, can make him stay, because it'd be kind of weird to see that site without him there. He's been there for like 10 years. But anyway, moving on. The way he moved in that video, was moving in that video, and the fact that he dressed for the game on Saturday but didn't play, I think those are promising. That's promising for USC. But yeah, I mean, I sure as heck hope they could use him back. Killian did not dress for Notre Dame, and I don't know what his practice. I talked to Ryan Dyrud. He's like, he doesn't remember seeing Killian in uniform and pads. So we'll wait and see on that. I don't know. I'll ask around, but I don't believe so. But getting one of them back is better than getting none of them back.
Yeah. Hey, listen, if we can get Paige back, if we can get him back, and then you can move Tobias Raymond back down in, having that left side, Ryan, with those two big monsters back there blocking, I mean, I think that changes a lot of different things, Tim. Like, just having those guys over there to where you kind of, it'll be opening for, King Miller and, of course, Brian Jackson, Dalton, and, of course, those guys, having those guys, having those big monsters blocking. I think that changes everything, But yeah, I mean, that was pretty much it, Tim. Let me get up out of here. I'm sure there's other callers I want to call in.
Yeah,
I just want to
it.
drop in, man. Listen, I think this is a big game. I think this is a big game for us. I think we will pull it out. But once again, man, this is what you want. On the road, cold, so that no one can sit there and say, okay, it wasn't a tough environment. It was a lucky win. No, man, get it the hard way is always the best way. So I think that this is pretty much a great opportunity. Listen, great job as always, Tim. I'm out of here. Let's get ready for a big win on Saturday in Lincoln. All right, I'm out of here. Fight on from the East Coast, man. Take care, Tim.
Fight on, LV. Yeah, LV has his own channel. You guys go make sure you check him out. I couldn't know if you tell or not, but he's from New York. He covers the Knicks. And so if you like the Knicks, you like the Giants, go check out his stuff. Love LV Collin. He's been a longtime supporter of the channel. But we got another call. Hi, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, you got me?
I got you. Yeah, I'm here. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Hey, how you doing? First off, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jake from Nebraska. Jake from Nebraska. Well, I'm not really from Nebraska. I'm living in Nebraska, but from California is Jake.
Now the question is, right. I remember talking to you. You're a Trojan fan, right?
I am. I'm going to school here, but I'm from SoCal. But I'll be at the game this Saturday, so I'm fired up for it.
Oh, awesome! I wish I was there. I was really close to going, but the travel is not easy and it's not cheap to get to Lincoln between like the plane, car rental, and all that. It's just it's a couple nickels, yeah, for sure. Well, what's on your mind?
Flying to Omaha.
Well, that would be the plan.
Well, first off, Chris Trevino, when he first came in, I remember everyone was kind of like on him because he's a little different personality, but he grew into kind of blend into the program really well. Good dude. I hope that fit gets all figured out and everything. But on top of that, I mean, I think we're going to dominate them personally. I just don't think they can hang with us. I haven't really seen anything like us personally. The Notre Dame game, we gave them so much. Like we were up 27-24 late in third, and we gave up a kickoff return, and we fumbled. It's like, can't beat ourselves up. Letting one guy rush for 300 yards, it's just crazy. It was absurd. So last time we came off a bye, we played well. So I think we're going to bounce back. I really do.
Yeah.
And everyone talks about the cold. It ain't that cold here. I'm going to be honest with you. Once you're kind of moving, it's not that cold. Like, they're playing 40 degrees, they'll be fine. I really don't see much problem, to be honest with you.
Cold is okay. Rain, not good.
Sure.
Not good. They can play in the cold. Like, listen, the myth, and it's kind of been a myth. And since Lincoln Riley's got here, the myth has even got a bit more silly because we all were saying, why isn't he recruiting California kids? Well, the byproduct of that is most of these kids are from, around the country, Michigan, right? Texas, Virginia. I mean, a lot of these kids are coming from cold weather states. So the cold's not going to bother anyone. Well, maybe Jayden, he's used to 80 degrees and sunny and a little bit of rain sprinkled here and there. But I mean, pretty much everybody else, is and cold. I mean, we're not talking sub-zero. You're probably talking getting. I think it was like 45 degrees, right? So I mean, that's not even that's cold.
Take it from me. Yeah, take it from me. I'm from Orange County. Like, I'm out here. The only thing that kills you is the wind here. The wind gets pretty bad, but once you're moving and you're playing and you're, especially when you got guys that are hitting each other and running around, they got so much going on. It's not going to affect them. The rain and the wind, it's another story. But the cold, nah. I don't see it as a factor at all. I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, that's like anywhere, like New York, and I lived in England for 3 years, and it's cold. But then when that wind hits you, it's lights out. Yeah, I know exactly. If you're an Orange County kid like me, well, I mean, I grew up in LA, but I mean, if you're a Southern California kid, that some of those, it might say 35 degrees, but then when that wind hits you, it's like someone threw ice water and threw daggers at you. It can get pretty nasty. But I think that the weather should not be a major issue because I believe it's supposed to be. I think I heard on Trojans Live, Keely Orr said that it's gonna be cold, but no rain on the forecast. So if that holds up, that's great news because, guys, USC was, as much as both teams were trying to shoot themselves in the foot, USC on that beautiful ball by Jayden, speaking of Jayden, to Jacoby Lane, took the lead late in the third quarter of that game. And I started thinking I had just like these visions of, if you guys remember that hole shot to Jacoby Lane in the Michigan game. Now, granted, that was at the end of the fourth quarter with 2 minutes left and they don't have a quarterback. So we thought, okay, this is a win mistake. But late in the third quarter, USC takes the lead. And then all of a sudden, I don't know if it's divine intervention, right, from Notre Dame, Fighting Irish Catholic School. But then the heavens opened up and it started pouring. And then from then on, our offense didn't do crap as soon as that rain started coming down. Am I blaming the weather? No, because both teams have to play in the rain. But I would say that when you're running for 300 yards and USC's running for 3 yards a carry, but torching you through the air, when it starts to rain, gloves get a little bit wet. Guys are dropping balls that don't usually drop balls. And it kind of went to hell from there. So anything else for us? You got anything else for us?
We started off hot in that game. We started off really well. We came out scoring. We had the lead. We were playing with them. I think their defense played really well, though. I think they played us really well, especially taking away Mackay. He only got a few receptions, excuse me. But I mean, they're a good team, man. And it's just one of those things. I think on neutral ground in the Coliseum, or even a dry environment, I honestly think that we can pull it out. It's just you got to tackle a guy after that. That momentum definitely spoiled it for us, but I don't want to waste too much of your time. But hey, fight on. I'll be there this weekend looking for a W.
Well, Jacob, one thing. I really appreciate you calling. Anybody that calls into a show I'm a part of, I do mean I truly appreciate you taking the time. It really saves me from talking. But I mean, it's a really great way to support the show. And you guys are never taking our time. You're our Trojan fans, and we love to hear from you. And Jacob, thank you. I mean, awesome. Great call, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Yes, sir. Have a good night.
Enjoy the game. Yeah, great call. Well, I promised you guys I was going to stay on for as long as we're getting phone calls. Here's what I'll do. I'll even throw this out there for you. You guys, if you want to join through StreamYard, because again, this is probably the last time I'm going to do this because I got suckered in. Some people told me that, oh, no, we don't call in because then I can't listen to the show. And so, blah, blah. Why don't you run StreamYard? And it was kind of funny because we used to do StreamYard and I got the phone line, which is expensive and difficult to run. But it was for all you out there that are on your TV sets and some of the octogenarians and septuagenarians out there that I love hearing from. You guys aren't going to go on StreamYard. So we got the phone line. So we have them both going right now. So if you want to join on StreamYard, that's fine. If you want to join on the phone call, number 888-997-4539, 888-99-RILEY. Give us a call. I'll be here as long as we're getting phone calls. And we got another one. So hi, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is John.
John, you sound familiar, John.
What's going on, Tim? How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Thanks for calling back. What's on your mind?
Yeah, man. I didn't know you guys were on tonight. I was getting ready to go to bed because it's going on. It's 11 o'clock here. But listen, man. As long as we don't turn the ball over, I think we'll be fine on Saturday.
Good point.
We're not making any bonehead mistakes, and because I even when I go back to the Illinois games, man, we fumbled on the first drive, okay? And then when our center got hurt and the new center came in, he was down the field a little bit. That's 14 points right there, man. Even as bad as we play, that's 14 points right there that we could have had. So I just figure if we don't turn the ball over, because Nebraska don't scare me. The only thing that scares me a little bit is, man, the referees in the Big Ten are horrible.
Yeah.
On that fourth down call against Nebraska against Northwestern, man, when that receiver came out the break, he was held, man.
Yep.
And I'm like, but you know what? Let me tell you something. I noticed that's going on in the SEC too. The new teams that are in the SEC, they're getting jobs on the calls, man. It's almost like these people, man, they don't want these kids, they don't want these new teams in the conference. But I'm gonna tell you why I called tonight, Tim. And I don't want to sound sacrilegious. Listen, man, we got to start looking out for ourselves, and we're not doing that. Now, I know your father called a couple of weeks ago, but we talking about the rivalry and all that stuff. It's time to let the Notre Dame thing go.
Ooh.
I'm tired of going there, playing there in the wintertime, number one. But it's time to let that go because, see, college football has changed. I remember, man, when the SEC changed. Okay, no, they was only playing 8 conference games, but I can remember there was a stretch that where Georgia and Nebraska, they just stopped. I mean, Georgia and Alabama stopped playing each other. What I would like to see USC do is this: what I would like to see because since they say football on the West Coast is dying, I would like for us between the first and the third week, 1 year to play Stanford, another year to play Cal. That's what we need to do. We need to go home on home with them, because this way, since you got to travel all the way across the country, those could be like quick trips. Like 1 year we could play Cal at home, and we can play that same year, maybe play Stanford at home. And then what we do is the next year, I would like to see us get that rivalry back again. The Notre Dame thing is because we don't need Notre Dame. They need us. Notre Dame has found a path each way to get into the playoffs now. Tell me it's about getting in the playoffs. The tradition stuff is gone. I'm just telling you, I don't like it. The tradition went out even with the NIL, man. So that's just my opinion. I ain't saying that I'm right on this, but I think we need to get rid of the Notre Dame thing. It's too many hard games, man. Got to be up every week, because, listen, we could go either 10-2, or realistically, we could lose 4 games here in this stretch, because we're playing somebody every way. Next one, Northwestern, they look like they're pretty good. They're not going to be a pushover. We should beat them. Iowa, they're starting to play well. And the thing is, what the people say here is, hey, man, y'all good. Y'all can throw the ball. Y'all can do this. Y'all can't stop the run up the middle. So we're going to find out. We're going to find out in the next few games. But we really got to get rid of this Notre Dame thing, man. We don't need them anymore. We don't. Like I said, it was always good playing them or whatever and stuff. But we don't need that anymore, man. We just don't. When are we going to start thinking about ourselves? We need to think about ourselves. We need to get into the playoffs. That's what that's all about. It's too long since we've been in the playoffs. What do you think about that?
Oh, you got a lot there. I got to put some notes down. So let me start. Let me go all the way back. So the ref situation here in the Big Ten, I think it's a bit of a stretch, John. I know Nebraska is new, but I think it's a bit of a stretch to call Nebraska new. But I get what you mean as far as like the 4 from the Pac-12 that joined. And Nebraska really traditionally isn't, Big Ten, but man, they've been around a while. But no, it's terrible. That holding call against Nebraska was crap. I've had head scratchers. The one that pisses me off the most, well, 2 incidents. Last year against Penn State, there were 2. Yes. One was a pass interference, and one was a holding call that wasn't called on Makai Lemon. He probably scores. He probably scores in overtime, and then we have our signature win at home against Penn State. That was a playoff. That's not 2025 Penn State. That was a good Penn State team, and USC plays out of their minds at home. So that one, get that out of the way. Big Ten is the opposite of Pac-12. Remember Pac-12? Those refs were flag happy, holding, pass interference, all that stuff, constantly throwing flags. This is the opposite. They know what defensive holding is barely. They certainly don't know what offensive holding is in this league. I have not seen it called. I've seen guys taken down. ACC refs are no better. I saw a couple plays in that Notre Dame game where literally USC guys were tackled from behind. It was pretty. It's pretty bad. And going back to that Michigan game in Ann Arbor, don't get me started on the officiating.
Yeah. I know.
Notre Dame, the Notre Dame situation. You're never going to turn me on this one. I think that it's going to be moved to the beginning of the year. I've been saying this is true. Going back 2 years, I said this should be a week 0 game. We wouldn't be playing the second half in the rain if it was a week 0 game. Well, maybe we would. I don't know. It's the Midwest. But my point is that I'm with you. I'm tired of the weather being an impediment. And I've been throwing around the 14 wins in South Bend, but how many of those games were played in freaking blizzards and whiteouts and God knows what else is going on in Indiana at the end of November, way back in the 1940s, 50s, and 60s.
Right.
So, I'm glad that's at least ended. We played there in October. But you know what? That's the precedent. This game's already been moved. So why not move it to the beginning of the year? And the reason for that is because Notre Dame needs to fill their schedule, and they want a marquee name at the end of the year. You could always get, the non-conference games the first 3 weeks of the season. You can get those big games, but they've always got to live on having USC third week and last week of the season, and that's helped them out. They drop, by the way, and if any, hold on, John. If any Notre Dame ever says that you're ducking Notre Dame, Ask them what happened to Michigan, or better yet, because that wasn't much, they didn't play that often. It was a big rivalry. Goes way back. Michigan taught Notre Dame how to play football, but big rivalry. But they got rid of Michigan State, who they played like, I don't know, it was like 50 or 60 years in a row, and they dumped them. And you know what they said?
Yep.
They said, oh, we're joining the ACC conference play. Right. You know how it is. Well, guess what, Notre Dame? We joined the Big Ten, and we're traveling to the Big Ten, and you know how it is. So move the game to August, end of August, beginning of September, and let's keep the rivalry going in my book. I don't think, and I think I think that one thing you're talking about the playoffs with a 16-team playoff. You just have to finish in the top 2 of your conference. And quite frankly, I'm dead serious on this one. If you're not in a top 2 of your conference, you don't deserve to be in a playoff. I don't care if you're playing in the NFL. I mean, that's the exact extreme. But you know what I mean? SEC, the Big Ten. I mean, if we're going to bitch about, being, I bet you the top 3 teams in the Big Ten and SEC in a 12-team, 16-team playoff, which is probably eventually going to be pretty soon, you're going to get in. So I don't want to drop a Notre Dame. Keep Notre Dame. They're not even a conference game. Keep Notre Dame, move to the beginning of the season. That way, in the middle of conference, and we're flying back and forth to the Midwest, we don't have another one every other year to go to South Bend. That only makes sense. They'll be dodging us if they don't take that deal. Period. Sorry, John, go ahead.
Yeah, well, okay, but I just think it's just time to move on. I just it's we keep holding on these traditions and different things. Is that I just think, especially with the NIL stuff, is just right now is just because when the season is over with, then we gotta make sure we get enough money to be able to keep our players. We gotta recruit our players over and over and over and over and over again, and it's really hurt because I can tell you what's going on in my town. What's going on in my town right now? No one cares about Michigan or Michigan State. It's all Lions because they say the Lions are actually playing for the people in Detroit. The other ones, and of course, Michigan State is bad because they want John Smith. They want him gone. But anyway, as far as not even they're saying that Michigan got outside chance to get in the playoffs, but they don't care. They didn't even talk about it on the airwaves last week. Michigan State play. They ain't talk about that. They ain't care about it. All these people here to talk about right now is the Lions. They said because the thing about it is they don't like Shamar Moore, Michigan's coach. They don't like John L. Smith. They don't like him either. So the thing about it is they want both of those coaches gone. And they say, what the heck? Because who knows? If you get rid of coaches, then you're gonna lose the players. So that's the thing. It's just right now, it's just they don't care about that here. They don't care about it. I mean, they used to, but they just really, really don't care about, because again, as I'm saying, Tim, this thing has changed so much, man.
Yeah, but
so much. No, Notre Dame wants to come out to LA in November and play.
Yeah, of course. Why not? I would want if I lived in Midwest, I want to come here in November too.
Okay, if we're going to play them, yes. Okay, we better play them early in the year. If not, it's time to move on and everybody keeps saying they should come to the Big Ten. Even the Notre Dame will never come to the Big Ten.
No, they won't. I stopped saying that a while ago.
They had to join the conference. It's going to be ACC. You know that.
They won't be special, John. Let me say this, John. Let me say this really quick. That's what makes them special, because they're one of the few programs that can be independent and thrive. Period. I remember SC fans a long time ago saying SC should go independent. That wouldn't have worked out well.
I thought that.
I know, but that would not have worked out well. They are a tradition. They're a tradition. No, I don't think. Well, I mean, it would have been It'd been better than staying on that sinking ship called the SS Pac-12. I mean, yeah, that would have been better. I mean, at least then we can fend for ourselves. But no. They're not going to join because it's not financially. And as long as the playoff rules stay the way they are, they'll be fine with no conference game. So I mean, no, I think they're not joining anything quick.
But Tim, I've heard you say it. You felt that the Pac-12 never took care of us.
They didn't. That. Yeah, they didn't.
Too. We were the flagship. So what I'm saying is, though, but in some situations, you got to take care of your own self. And that's what I'm saying. Listen, when you got a team, look, maybe, I guess what they say, Alabama's only won more championships than us. But all I'm saying is this is just that, man, we got to start making the playoffs, and we got to start looking after ourselves, man.
I think Michigan has 12.
I think that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I got you. I get your point. Your point taken. I just said I have to get to Johnny because I have to get over to the Voice of College Football. You guys, let's take the party over there in a minute.
I mean, you guys probably get.
Well, I mean, I got to hop over.
I'm gonna call you back though.
You could call me, John. I could talk to you all day long. You can call. Listen, next Monday we're gonna have a call-in show, and then Wednesday we were not going up against Game 5 of the World Series. That's why we didn't go last night. By the way, to answer your question.
Yeah.
But okay, I'm gonna head over to the Voice of College Football after I get Johnny. Got Johnny waiting for me here on StreamYard, and then I'm gonna go over. If you guys, I welcome everybody to join me over there. But I mean, the show's not over yet. We got another like 5-10 minutes. But John, I got to move on. Appreciate it. Call me anytime. All right.
Okay, man.
All right. Thank you, John.
Man. All right, hey, man. Fight on this weekend, bro. All right.
Fight on. Appreciate you, man. Okay, so we got Johnny. Hey, listen, I've done it again. I've gone. What have I gone? I've been up here for you guys 1 hour and 5 minutes, and I promise you guys that we go as long as we can go all the time. All I ask of you guys doesn't cost you a penny. I'll be up here. I'll take your calls. I'll take your comments. All I ask is you guys, if you're not subscribed, why not subscribe? And hit that like button right now. We got 48 of you guys right now. Hit that like button. Appreciate it. Appreciate you guys all being here, and make sure you guys call in next week so we can celebrate this Nebraska win. Let me grab Johnny here really quick. We'll talk for a little bit. And then again, at 8:30, going to head over, about 15 minutes, we're going to head over to the Voice of College Football and join their Nebraska show. And we can talk some more USC football. We can take the party over there. All right. Johnny, how are you doing, sir? Thank you for waiting.
Tim, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, hold on. I think I turned you up a little bit. Are you talking into your mic? Hang on.
Tim,
let me see.
Can you hear me okay?
Let me put your mic up. Give me 1 second. Keep talking if you want.
Okay. I don't know if you can hear me. My connection's a little bad, but wanted to see if maybe. Well, let me try to.
No, you're good. I turned you all the way up. I can hear you a little better now.
phone.
Chat, let me know if you guys can hear.
You can hear me?
I can hear you, Johnny. Go ahead. Sorry, what's your
Okay,
mind?
perfect. How you doing, Tim? This is Johnny from the Philippines, the Lakewood, Long Beach area.
So are you actually currently in the Philippines?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I travel back and forth. Weather sucks. Lots of hurricane, typhoons, and earthquakes going on right now. But I'm okay, man. I still get to watch the SC games. I'm a big fan of yours. Been following you from Voice of College Football and now LAFB. So I think the last time we talked, I called in was the LSU SC game early last year. And can you hear me okay?
Yeah, loud and clear. You're good. Dale says he hears you in the chat, so you're good to go.
Yeah. So, it's been a while since I've been talking to you, but we've been on Twitter a little bit. So I'm glad that you're still on air because you are the beast. You are the best.
Too kind. Thank you.
Thank you. What's on my mind? A couple things. One, Notre Dame SC. It's got to continue, but it's got to be on SC's terms, man. The championship runs through Notre Dame. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But it's got to be on SC's terms. It can't be Notre Dame's terms. Just beginning of the year, I think that's fantastic. Every year, if it's the third game, every year, I think that's fantastic. Besides, Freeman already mentioned some kind of advantage. Well, not some kind, an advantage, home field advantage when we go over there in the cold.
Yeah.
With it raining and the ball being wet, it's no advantage for us. But all the advantage for us, I believe, is that we start the game in one of the 3 preseason games every year, and then if we lose, hey, we still have time to recover. But as in the past, all the championships we won have gone through beating Notre Dame. I don't know. What do you think?
I think you're spot on. I think there is no USC football without Notre Dame football. I don't think there's Notre Dame football without USC football. I just think we're intertwined. Too much of college football tradition has gone away. Until Texas joined the SEC, you saw the Texas A&M series go away. As I talked about a bunch of times, there's too much. They've taken away the clock rules. They've taken away whole conferences that have been around for 100 years. The Pac-10, Pac-12, Pac-8, whatever. Tony Altomare could tell me what it used to be called before then. You know, I mean, whatever that we can hold on to, we should hold on to. But this is just too big. And I got to tell you, USC, part of our attraction and of being in any conference, because I got news for everyone. We're not going to be in the Big Ten forever. We're not. There's going to be a super conference. There's going to be some new iteration of this thing, and hopefully it goes back to regionality, because we need that back. USC and Notre Dame are too special to split this up. It's just it'll be a dark day in USC history if the Irish and the Trojans don't play. Now, why I say week 0? Oh, I got to speed up, so we got to get out of here. Why I say week 0? Oh, sorry, guys. Hit that like button. I need some more like buttons. Come on. I mean, some more likes here. We've been here for an hour and 15 minutes. I'm just going to tell you guys, please do it. Week 0 is why we're doing it, because one, you get that extra, you get the extra time you get that extra break after the game to heal up, both teams. USC can travel, and it's not going to be an issue every other year, because it's, plus both teams, it'll be a great game because both teams get all off season prepare. Those week 0 games are, man, look at that LSU game. That was awesome. USC, LSU.
Yeah.
In Vegas. One thing I will say, though, I've heard people kick around neutral site. Hell no. This game cannot be played at Jerry World, or where the hell any crap ideas they might have. This game has to be played in South Bend and in the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. That's also a deal breaker. So week 0,
for sure,
home field. USC plays that because, again, 12 and 16 team playoffs, a non-conference game isn't going to matter. It's just not gonna matter. USC takes care of business in the Big Ten. They're gonna get to the playoffs. If they can't get there, then we don't deserve to be in the playoffs, and neither does Notre Dame. This game should not hurt your chance of getting to the playoffs. So
I agree.
Yeah, don't get me. I'll get fired up all day. I try to hold it back. The problem is, the one thing you have to worry about is you've got people now in power at USC that don't have a lot of history with this tradition, and they're thinking too practically. And sometimes when you guys think practically, you think what's best in the best situation. You're not looking big picture. Yeah. And again, the fabric of this program is about Notre Dame. The fabric of Notre Dame's program is about USC. Anyone on either side that says otherwise just doesn't know these programs, period.
I totally agree with that. Why do you say that? How long is the contract for in the Big Ten? And will there be a super conference like SEC, Big Ten? Or what are you thinking?
One more time. Sorry, I missed that last. Oh, as far as the new super conference, oh man, that's a whole conversation for a different time. I got about 9 minutes. I got to pop over.
Oh, okay.
I was referring to the fact it was the first game of the season, but I guess good catch. Mm-hmm. But I'm really talking about how both Riley and Kelly, RIP, too soon. Riley and Kelly had all season to prepare for that game, and it was a great game. It lived up to the billing, didn't it? That was a hell of a game. And I'd love to see that, but instead of seeing Kelly's purple face blowing up on the other side, I'd rather see a Notre Dame team. And so that's my point, is having the whole season, your team's relatively healthy, barring some major injuries in the offseason. It's the perfect time for SC, and it would be special. Week 0, separate from everything. That would be a marquee game, because with under Freeman, Notre Dame's could be a solid program for a foreseeable future. And I think that USC and Lincoln Riley are getting their crap together, and we're going to be a perennial top 10 team as well. You put that together, and we could see some great runs like you saw in the 1970s, where I think 5 of the 10 national championships, if I'm correct on my math, were won by the Irish or the Trojans.
Right.
So, 77, I think in 71 or so, and then SC had 72, 74, and 79. So, I mean, that's 5 of 10 were national champions from Notre Dame or USC. You put them together, USC and Notre Dame have the most championships of any rivalry out there. The most All-Americans, the most Heismans, go down the list. Most college,
hands down.
Most college football Hall of Famers, most NFL Hall of Famers. I mean, this is a rivalry that just is college football.
First round draft
picks, I think, too. But I'm telling you, the right coaches in place, you could have like another era, Parsegian and John McKay era, that would just be epic again for college football. So, hey, listen, I got to get out of here, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank you, by the way,
appreciate you.
Johnny from the Philippines. Appreciate you calling in, man.
All right, my man. I'll talk to you later.
But I got to go. All right, guys, last ask. Go hit that like button on the way out. Subscribe if you have not subscribed. We are going live after the game, right after the Nebraska game. We'll be live here. We're going to be celebrating or commiserating with you. Phone lines will be open. Thank you to everyone calling. I think we had everyone that called in before. Looking for those first-time callers. Don't sit on the fence. Get into the game. Enjoy it. We will be back. So as soon as the game finishes, come on here and we will have a call-in show. Yeah, and that's it. Thank you guys for being here. Fight on, and I'll see everybody after the game on Saturday. See you guys.